Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be on my top favorite foundation brushes. I will be talking sort of about the brushes that I really love to apply foundation with in terms of what type of brush that they are, but more specifically I'll be talking about the actual model of the brush and the brand. I feel like I'm talking about cars. The model. I will be talking about kind of the model of the brushes and the brand and the actual specific brush that I recommend. I'm constantly changing up my foundation brush. If there's one brush that I'm constantly going back and forth between, it is foundation brushes. I'm always picking up new brushes that I want to, try out with my foundation, and I never really kind of stick to just one particular brush as my holy grail brush. So I thought that I would talk through all of the ones that I think are top-notch in my opinion. So the first thing I want to start off with is the Beauty Blender, and yes, mine is dirty. I just picked up today actually the Real Techniques blending sponge. It pretty much looks exactly like the Beauty Blender at the front, except it's a bit more rounded, and then on the back this one has a flat edge there. I'm really keen to try this out, but I do like the Beauty Blender. Out of all of the brushes, I have 3 brushes and then this brush product, whatever. Out of all of them, this is probably my least favorite way of applying foundation. I don't really know why. I just feel as though because you are meant to use this damp, you're meant to run it under water, squeeze out the excess water, and then kind of pat the foundation onto your skin. I really like that this gives a very natural, your skin but better look. But at the same time, I think because of the water, it kind of shears out foundations a little bit, and I like my foundation to be a little bit more full coverage. And I find that this kind of shears it out a little bit just because of the way that it's kind of made, and then the fact that you're meant to use it damp. So this is probably my least favorite way of applying foundation, but I really, really do like it. I think I'd be more enticed to apply this my foundation with this more often if I had pretty much perfect skin. I didn't really have anything that I really wanted to cover, and I just wanted it to look really natural. But I really, really do like this. I think it's great. It is kind of pricey. I think it's around $25, the Beauty Blender that is. I can't remember how much this was, but it is cheaper. I really do like it. I also really like it for blending out concealer underneath my eyes as well. It's really nice. It just gives a very, as I said, your skin but better look. It's very natural, and it's really, really good if you have dry skin, because if you use it damp, which as I said you're meant to, it'll add that sort of moisture into your skin and make everything look very glowy and very dewy. By the way, do you guys like what's on my lips? I'm obsessed with these, the Maybelline Color Elixirs. This one is in something to do with violet, I think. Vision in Violet, I think. I'm completely obsessed with them. They are so nice, they go on so creamy, and I just absolutely love this color. It's amazing, and they're so glossy. And I'm not even talking about foundation brushes, I'm talking about a lip gloss. Okay, so moving on to my first brush. I'm kind of going to go in the ways, my least favorite to my favorite at the moment. As I said, it always changes, but I thought, these are kind of the ones I'm always going between. The next one is the infamous Sigma F80 Flat Top Kabuki. This is just a flat top Kabuki brush. It is very, very dense. This brush is pretty infamous. Every single person that does makeup and their dog uses this brush. Jaclyn Hill uses this brush. It's her #1 go-to brush, which is the reason why I purchased it. You can tell this is a good quality brush. It feels very heavy. It doesn't shed. It's lasted a really, really long time. I can't remember how long I've had it for, but it is quite a while. With foundation, I like to kind of stipple it and pat it onto my face rather than buff, just because I want that extra coverage, and I feel like by buffing it, it kind of doesn't give me that extra coverage. But I really do like this brush. The only thing about it is that I find because it's quite dense that it really pats the foundation into my skin, therefore not giving me the coverage that I would like first off. I know you can go back in, build up foundation, whatever, but as I said, just because it is quite dense, I feel like it really pushes it into my skin, and I want something that's a little bit softer that will give my foundation a little bit more coverage. But I really, really do like it. I definitely recommend it. I think it's great if you're starting off with foundation and you don't want to use a typical foundation brush. You can use this to either buff it around because it's really, really soft and really get into the skin, or you can use it to pat your foundation or whatever you want to use it for. But it's a really, really good brush, and it's really terrific quality. The next brush that I have been liking is one from Models Prefer, and I've done a whole video on Models Prefer brushes, so I'll link that down below because I'm pretty sure I'm going to put it up before this. This is the Airbrush foundation brush. It looks very similar in kind of shape to the Real Techniques Expert Face brush, but it's softer. It's not as dense. I really, really like this brush. You can use it for multiple things, but with foundation, I just really like it because once again, it gives a very airbrushed, natural finish. It's not really going to sit the foundation on top of the skin. Once again, you can buff your foundation in, or what I like to do is just kind of go in downward strokes and then pat to kind of get rid of any streakiness. I just really like the way that this makes my foundation look. It really blends it into the skin so that it doesn't look cakey, and I just love it. As I said, because it's really soft, you can buff it in really well, or you can get a little bit more coverage by patting it like this. I just really like the way that it makes my foundation look. It just looks very natural. It looks like my skin regardless of what foundation I'm using, and I think it's an amazing brush. And as I mentioned in my Models Prefer Brushes video, I think these are so similar to Sigma brushes. Even though this one isn't as good of a quality, it still doesn't shed or anything like that. None of these brushes shed or anything like that, and I just absolutely love it. It's also really good for concealer as well. And you can use it for multiple things, but I love it for foundation. And then the next brush that I have been liking recently for my foundation is actually quite a weird looking brush for foundation. You wouldn't expect that you would really use this for foundation. It is not a foundation brush. It is the Nude by Nature, and if you don't know what Nude is, it is a mineral makeup brand. I believe this is their bronzing brush. It doesn't actually say, but I believe this is meant to be used for their mineralized bronzer. I started using this for foundation recently just for the sake of it, and I really like it. Once again, doesn't shed. It is very soft, but it is still quite dense to the point where it's not going to just sit the foundation on top of your skin. I absolutely love this. It does the job really quick. As you can see, it is quite large. I just literally pour my foundation on the top, stipple it on, and it just goes on really nicely. As I said, I don't find the foundation sits on top because it is quite dense still. It does the job really quickly. It's really soft, so it makes my foundation look very airbrushed. So that is it for this video. I hope it just gave you guys an insight into what sort of brushes that I like for foundation. Those are like my holy grail brushes. I don't feel like I really need to like purchase any other brushes for foundation now because I have so many that I like now. And that's basically it. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.